You believe your thoughts disappear. They do not. You believe thinking changes nothing outside you. It does. Every thought you repeat becomes vibration, and vibration does not stay contained. Most people spend their lives trying to change results while ignoring frequency. They focus on action, they ignore emission. But the law described by William Walker Atkinson does not respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you consistently vibrate. Not desire, pattern. Not hope, frequency. You may believe you are choosing your thoughts, but what if your thoughts are choosing your direction? What if attraction is not something you activate, but something you have never stopped generating? Every repeated mental state becomes a signal. Every signal seeks resonance, and resonance organizes your environment long before you notice. This is not motivation, this is mechanism. In this video, you will see why thought behaves like energy, why similar frequencies align automatically, why emotion amplifies vibration, and why most people unknowingly rehearse the very reality they try to escape. You are not observing life from outside, you are transmitting into it. And the question is no longer, what do you want, but what are you already vibrating? Because understanding vibration does not give comfort, it removes illusion. And once illusion is gone, you cannot return to thinking the same way again. You believe thought is private. It is not. You believe thinking happens only inside you. It does not. Every thought produces movement, and movement produces vibration. This is not metaphor, it is mechanism. William Walker Atkinson describes thought as an active force, not imagination, not wishful thinking, but vibration transmitted from mind to environment. Most people reduce thinking to internal dialogue. They assume thoughts disappear the moment attention shifts, but nothing that vibrates disappears instantly. It propagates. You are not simply thinking, you are emitting, and emission changes participation. Atkinson did not describe the mind as passive awareness. He described it as a center of force, a generator of subtle waves that move outward, interacting with similar patterns already in motion. The misunderstanding begins when people believe attraction starts with desire. It does not. It begins with frequency. Desire without aligned vibration is contradiction. You may want success while maintaining a vibration of doubt. You may want clarity while repeating patterns of confusion. The law does not evaluate intention, it responds to the dominant vibration sustained over time. This removes comfort because it implies something most individuals avoid recognizing. You are always transmitting, even when you are not trying. If this work interests you, subscribe now, not for motivation, for structure, because this channel is not about ideas, it is about law. Thought behaves like energy, not symbolic energy, not emotional exaggeration, structural energy. Atkinson compares thought to magnetic force because both operate through unseen influence. You cannot see magnetism directly. You observe its effects through alignment and movement. Thought operates in similar fashion. You rarely perceive the emission, you observe the patterns it creates. Consider a symbolic image. A tuning fork struck once produces sound. The sound fades, but the vibration continues longer than perception suggests. Place another tuning fork tuned to the same frequency nearby, and it begins to resonate without physical contact. This is resonance. Thought functions through similar principles. A repeated mental state stabilizes into a frequency. Frequency seeks correspondence. Correspondence creates attraction, not through intention, but through compatibility. The law is impersonal. It does not reward optimism, it responds to consistency. Psychologically, this explains why individuals repeat circumstances they claim to dislike. The conscious desire rejects the situation, but the underlying vibration maintains alignment with it. The law does not read language, it reads pattern, and patterns form through repetition. Fear repeated becomes vibration. Confidence repeated becomes vibration. Doubt repeated becomes vibration. Not because emotion is powerful, but because repetition stabilizes frequency. This is where control begins, not in forcing external outcomes, but in recognizing the internal rhythm that precedes them. Most people attempt to change behavior first. Atkinson reverses the sequence. Behavior follows vibration, vibration follows thought. Therefore, thought is not neutral. Every mental habit is participation in law, and participation produces consequence, whether understood or not. The destabilizing question emerges. Are you directing your vibration or repeating one inherited without awareness? Because the moment you recognize thought as vibration, thinking stops being harmless and becomes structural.
You believe attraction begins when you focus intensely. It does not. Attraction begins long before conscious focus. It begins in the accumulated vibration of repeated thought. Most individuals misunderstand the law because they assume desire activates it. But the law is already active. The question is not whether attraction exists. The question is which vibration has become dominant enough to organize experience around it. Atkinson describes thought as a force not because it feels strong, but because it repeats. Repetition stabilizes. Stability produces frequency. Frequency produces alignment. Alignment produces attraction. This sequence operates without permission. Thought is not waiting for your awareness to function. It functions because it is movement, and movement cannot remain isolated. Every thought modifies mental atmosphere slightly. One thought changes little. Thousands of repeated thoughts form a mental climate. Climate determines what feels natural to you, and what feels natural determines what you allow, pursue, or avoid without realizing why. This is why people believe circumstances are external accidents. They observe results without recognizing the frequency that preceded them. The law of attraction in its structural form is not mystical preference, it is resonance. Similar patterns synchronize because compatibility reduces resistance. This is observable in physics, sound, and human psychology. Two vibrating systems with compatible frequencies reinforce each other. Two incompatible systems create tension until adjustment occurs. The mind operates through similar dynamics. When Atkinson speaks of thought as magnetic, he refers to this invisible alignment process. A magnet does not negotiate with metal. It attracts through field coherence. The mind creates a similar field through persistent vibration. You do not attract what you briefly imagine. You attract what your mental rhythm sustains. This explains why visualization alone fails for many. Visualization without stabilized frequency creates temporary imagery but no structural alignment. The law responds to continuity, not intensity. Emotional bursts are unstable signals. Calm repetition produces stronger resonance than momentary excitement. This removes the illusion that strong emotion alone changes reality. Emotion amplifies vibration only when aligned with consistent thought patterns. Otherwise, emotion creates noise. Noise disperses quickly. Structured vibration persists. Consider another symbolic image: a radio transmitter broadcasting continuously on one frequency. The broadcast does not reach every receiver. Only receivers tuned to the same frequency detect the signal. Attraction works similarly. The universe does not selectively reward individuals. It organizes interaction through compatibility of vibration. You enter environments, relationships, and opportunities that resonate with your dominant mental frequency because resonance reduces friction. Psychologically, this means you are drawn toward what feels familiar, even when familiarity is undesirable. Familiarity is frequency recognition. You call it comfort zone. The law calls it alignment. This also explains resistance. When you attempt to move toward a new result while maintaining an old vibration, internal friction increases. The mind perceives mismatch between desired outcome and stabilized frequency. Most people interpret this friction as failure. It is not failure, it is misalignment. Without understanding mechanism, individuals attempt to force results through action alone. Action without vibrational adjustment produces exhaustion because external effort conflicts with internal pattern. Atkinson emphasizes control of thought not as positive thinking, but as deliberate selection of mental frequency. Control does not mean suppressing thoughts. It means choosing which thoughts become dominant through repetition. Dominance creates rhythm. Rhythm creates vibration. Vibration creates attraction. This is the mechanism. It operates whether you understand it or not. Which leads to a destabilizing question. If attraction responds to your dominant vibration rather than your conscious wishes, how many of your current circumstances are reflections of patterns you never intentionally chose to maintain?
You believe thoughts simply appear. They do not. They arrive through tuning. Most individuals assume they generate every thought independently. This assumption creates the illusion of absolute control. But Atkinson describes the mind less as an isolated creator and more as a receiver-transmitter operating within a larger field of vibration. Thought is not only produced, it is received. This does not remove responsibility, it expands it. Because if the mind operates through tuning, then your dominant vibration determines which thoughts feel natural, persuasive, or inevitable. Consider a radio. The signal exists before you hear it. Changing the dial does not create the broadcast, it selects frequency. The moment alignment occurs, the signal becomes audible. The mind functions in similar fashion. Your mental state is a tuning position. This explains a phenomenon most people overlook. Certain ideas appear repeatedly when you maintain specific emotional or mental conditions. A fearful state attracts thoughts confirming danger. A disciplined state attracts thoughts reinforcing structure. The mind resonates with frequencies matching its dominant vibration. This is not mystical influence, it is compatibility. Thought vibration moves within an environment of similar movements. When frequencies align, transmission strengthens. This reframes identity. You are not only thinking thoughts, you are aligning with streams of thought already in motion, which means control is not forcing silence. Control is selecting frequency. Atkinson emphasizes mental discipline not as suppression, but as direction. The mind cannot stop vibrating. Attempting to eliminate thought entirely creates conflict because vibration is continuous. Instead, the practitioner learns to adjust the tone. Tone determines attraction. This is why focusing solely on removing negative thoughts fails. Removal creates vacuum. Vacuum invites the strongest available frequency to fill the space. Without intentional tuning, old patterns return automatically because familiarity stabilizes faster than unfamiliar frequencies. Psychologically, this explains relapse. People attempt change through resistance instead of replacement. They fight existing vibration rather than establishing a new one. Resistance amplifies what it opposes. Tuning replaces it. Another symbolic image. Two musical strings stretched across different instruments. Pluck one string and another tuned to the same pitch vibrates faintly without contact. The second string did not choose to respond. It resonated because alignment made response inevitable. Your mental environment functions through similar resonance.
You begin noticing opportunities aligned with your vibration because perception itself becomes selective. Attention filters reality according to frequency. What you call coincidence often reflects alignment between internal vibration and external pattern. This removes romantic interpretation. Attraction is not reward, it is organization. You enter relationships matching your frequency. You sustain habits matching your rhythm. You interpret events through patterns consistent with your mental tone, which leads to a deeper implication. Changing circumstances requires altering tuning before altering action. Most individuals reverse this order. They attempt external change while maintaining internal frequency. The result is temporary deviation followed by return to baseline. Baseline is vibration stabilized through repetition, and repetition is largely unconscious. This is where awareness becomes structural rather than philosophical. To observe your thoughts is not enough. You must observe which thoughts repeat without effort. Those patterns reveal your dominant frequency more accurately than your stated goals. Because goals are statements, frequency is evidence. This brings a destabilizing question. If the thoughts that feel natural to you are products of tuning rather than deliberate choice, how much of what you call yourself is simply resonance maintained over time?
You believe attraction responds to intention. It does not. It responds to structure. Most interpretations of the law of attraction reduce it to desire. They assume wanting something strongly creates movement toward it. But Atkinson presents a different framework. Attraction does not evaluate what you wish for, it organizes around what you consistently vibrate. The law is impersonal. It does not favor optimism. It does not punish negativity. It recognizes frequency. This removes emotional comfort because it implies something precise. The universe does not respond to your words, it responds to your pattern. Pattern emerges from repetition. Repetition stabilizes vibration. Stabilized vibration creates alignment. Alignment produces attraction. This is the mechanism. Consider magnetism again. A magnet does not decide which objects to attract based on preference. It pulls according to compatibility of structure. Objects aligned with its field respond, others remain unaffected. The law of attraction operates similarly. It is not a mystical reward system. It is a process of resonance between mental vibration and surrounding conditions. People misunderstand this because they focus on conscious thought alone. But conscious thought is only a small portion of mental activity. Beneath it exists a continuous stream of habitual patterns formed through years of repetition. These patterns determine baseline frequency. Baseline frequency determines attraction. This explains contradiction between desire and experience. An individual may consciously affirm success while unconsciously sustaining vibration of fear, doubt, or avoidance. The dominant frequency prevails because attraction responds to consistency, not declaration. The law does not negotiate, it aligns. Psychologically, this removes blame from external circumstances while also removing excuses from internal ones. The law does not judge, it reflects. Reflection is neutral, and neutrality is often uncomfortable, because neutrality reveals patterns without emotional justification. Another symbolic image. Imagine walking through a room filled with tuning forks of different pitches. The vibration you carry activates only those matching your frequency. The room does not change. Your vibration determines which instruments respond. Reality functions in similar fashion. You encounter opportunities aligned with your frequency because alignment reduces resistance. You overlook incompatible opportunities because perception filters according to internal tone. This is not limitation imposed from outside, it is selection occurring from within. Understanding this changes the meaning of control. Control is not forcing outcomes. Control is altering the internal pattern that determines which outcomes become visible, accessible, or sustainable. Most individuals attempt to manipulate circumstances directly. They adjust behavior, environment, or relationships without examining vibration. When results revert, they assume failure or bad luck. But the law does not produce randomness, it produces coherence. Where vibration and action conflict, action loses sustainability. Where vibration and action align, movement feels natural. This explains why some individuals appear effortlessly consistent. Their vibration supports their behavior rather than resisting it. The law does not create miracles, it amplifies patterns. Which leads to an uncomfortable implication. Every repeated mental state is rehearsal for future alignment. Fear rehearsed becomes reality perceived through fear. Confidence rehearsed becomes reality interpreted through confidence. Not because events change instantly, but because alignment reorganizes interaction, and interaction produces consequence. The destabilizing question emerges again. If attraction responds to what you repeatedly are rather than what you temporarily want, how many of your efforts fail, not because the law does not work, but because it has been working continuously in a direction you never examined?
You believe your thoughts affect only you. They do not. Every stabilized vibration extends beyond individual perception. Atkinson describes thought not merely as internal activity, but as force transmitted into a wider mental environment. This idea is often misunderstood because people imagine influence as direct control over others. That is not the mechanism. Influence operates through field interaction. Thought creates atmosphere before it creates action. You have entered rooms where tension was felt before a single word was spoken. You have sensed confidence or discomfort without visible explanation. These experiences reveal the presence of vibrational fields interacting before conscious communication begins. This is not mysticism. It is sensitivity to frequency. Every mind emits patterns continuously. These patterns overlap, reinforce, or resist one another depending on compatibility. The environment becomes a composite field formed by multiple vibrations interacting simultaneously. Your thought vibration contributes to that field, whether you intend to influence anyone or not. Which introduces a structural implication. You are never neutral within collective environments. Even silence transmits frequency. This challenges the assumption that personal thinking remains isolated. If thought operates like vibration, then proximity increases interaction. Groups develop shared atmospheres because dominant frequencies reinforce each other through repetition. Consider a symbolic image. Several pendulums swinging at different rhythms, initially chaotic. Over time, through subtle interaction, they begin synchronizing into similar movement patterns. No central controller forces alignment. Resonance produces coherence naturally. Human mental environments behave similarly. Dominant thought patterns influence weaker ones through repeated exposure, not through coercion, but through persistence. This explains why prolonged exposure to certain environments alters mood, belief, and behavior without conscious decision. The field reshapes tuning. Atkinson emphasizes mental control not only for personal transformation, but for protection against unconscious alignment with external patterns. Without awareness, individuals absorb frequencies surrounding them, mistaking external vibration for personal identity. You begin thinking thoughts that do not originate from deliberate choice. You begin feeling emotional rhythms that reflect environmental frequency rather than internal intention. This is not loss of autonomy, it is absence of structural awareness. Understanding this expands responsibility beyond individual thinking. It reveals participation in a larger exchange of mental influence.
Emotion plays a role here, but not in the way modern interpretations suggest. Emotion amplifies transmission only when aligned with stabilized thought patterns. Intense emotion without structural consistency creates temporary waves that dissipate quickly. Calm, repeated thought produces deeper and more sustained influence because stability reinforces frequency. This reframes focus. The goal is not emotional intensity. The goal is vibrational coherence. When thought, emotion, and action align, the signal strengthens. Others perceive this coherence as presence, clarity, or authority. They may not understand why they respond, but resonance makes alignment feel natural. This explains charisma without mysticism. It is frequency consistency. Psychologically, this suggests something most individuals resist acknowledging. You are both influenced and influencing simultaneously. You shape the mental field while being shaped by it. Ignoring this does not remove participation, it only removes awareness, which leads to a destabilizing question. If your mental environment continuously modifies your vibration, are your current thoughts truly chosen, or are they echoes of frequencies you have allowed to become dominant through exposure? You believe understanding the law gives you control. It does not. It gives you responsibility. Recognition of thought vibration does not grant immediate mastery. It removes illusion, and illusion often provided comfort. Before understanding vibration, you could assume randomness. You could believe circumstances appeared without pattern. You could blame luck, environment, or timing. After recognition, that interpretation becomes difficult to sustain, because the law reveals continuity where you previously saw coincidence. Atkinson does not present the law of thought vibration as a promise of instant transformation. It presents it as structural reality, always operating, always organizing, always responding to stabilized frequency. This shifts the meaning of change. Change is not a sudden act of will. It is gradual reorganization of dominant vibration. Most individuals fail here because they attempt immediate replacement of identity rather than gradual adjustment of frequency. They attempt to force new outcomes without stabilizing new mental rhythms. Without stabilization, old vibration remains dominant beneath temporary effort. And dominant vibration determines baseline experience. This introduces consequence. You cannot unknow the law once recognized. You begin noticing patterns behind reaction. You begin seeing repetition in thought that previously felt natural. You recognize how certain emotions return, not because of circumstance, but because frequency remains unchanged. Awareness removes innocence, but it also introduces precision. Instead of fighting external events, you observe internal rhythm. Instead of reacting to outcomes, you examine frequency preceding them. This is where control becomes structural rather than emotional. Control is not suppressing thought. Control is choosing which thoughts become repeated enough to stabilize into vibration. Repetition requires discipline. Discipline requires clarity. Clarity requires observation without justification. Most individuals resist this stage because it removes dramatic narratives. The law does not validate personal stories. It reveals mechanism beneath them. Mechanism is impersonal, and impersonality often feels cold. But impersonality creates reliability. You no longer need belief for the law to function. You need alignment. This explains why some changes feel slow. Stabilized vibration accumulated over years does not dissolve through momentary insight. It adjusts through consistent replacement, thought by thought, repetition by repetition, frequency by frequency. Consider a final symbolic image, a massive wheel turning slowly. Attempting to stop it instantly creates strain. Applying consistent force in a new direction gradually alters its momentum until movement changes naturally. Your mental vibration operates like that wheel. Recognition begins adjustment. Persistence stabilizes it. Consequence follows automatically. This removes magical thinking from attraction. The law does not grant wishes, it reflects dominant frequency. It does not respond to effort alone, it responds to coherence between thought, emotion, and action sustained over time. Which leads to the final destabilizing question. If every repeated thought strengthens a vibration shaping your future alignment, what are you rehearsing right now, consciously or unconsciously? Understanding has a cost, and ignorance has structure.